I had to use this journal for only 3 months, so I wrote like crazy. And inside I put this other paper. Hey Siri, count 15 minutes. Hey Siri, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to my Monday. When you don't remember that it's Monday, yeah, it's a problem. But you know, it's that time of the year when the days are blurry. Anyways, it's Monday. Welcome to my Monday. And yeah, the day started earlier, of course, as usual. I didn't sleep very well last night. I don't know what happened. I almost didn't sleep. You know those nights when you for no reason you cannot sleep at all? It was one of those nights. I was not sick. I was not worried about anything. I just couldn't sleep. But anyways, I woke up the same time I went to the gym. I know that when that type of things happens, we usually think, oh yeah, I'm gonna sleep in, I'm not gonna do what I have to do early in the morning. But I always say that we have to try to come back to our routine as soon as we can, even if we have to make a little sacrifice as going to the gym, even if I'm not at my optimal level like I was this morning. Because if I don't go, I feel like I drag the whole day. I will be like, you know, I just go, I hope for the best, and now I'm feeling fine actually. So that's my tip. Even if you don't have a good night of sleep, don't skip the gym or don't skip the things that you have early in the morning. Try to come back to your routine as soon as possible. That goes with all of the things that don't go as planned, or when you go out of rails, like let's say you are trying to eat healthy and someday you cannot. And sometimes people think, oh yeah, I couldn't follow the diet anyway, so who cares? I'm gonna eat what I want to eat until next Monday, whatever. No, try to come back as soon as possible. Actually, if you don't know me, nice to meet you. I'm Luciana Couto. I'm a health coach, but I don't like to tell you what to do. I like to share my life with you. I like to inspire you to take a few small steps towards your healthier version. So that's what this vlog is about. It's me sharing my daily routine so you can see that it's easier than you think to live a healthy lifestyle. But if you know me, you know that I'm all in regarding routine. I love schedule, I love plans. So this tip I'm telling you today is even important if you are trying to change a habit, if you're trying to build a new habit. Because every time we stay away from the habit or from the routine we are trying to build, the harder it is to come back. So you ate more than you should last night, no worries, today is a normal day. You couldn't sleep very well, treat today as a normal day, go to the gym, do everything you should be doing. So yeah, let's start the day. So I want to share with you some of the pages in my journal, that some spreads that I made this end of the year, because I am an Arch and Oliver subscriber. So each quarter I receive a new box with new goodies for journal, aka new journals, and other stationery things. I decided I would have a journal for each quarter of the year. And as I just received the box that I'm gonna start using in January, I thought it would be a good idea to show you my last one, how I use it, and most importantly, what I did right and what I did wrong, what are the things that I'm gonna keep doing it, and what are the things or the spreads I'm not gonna do anymore for my next journal. So I have here the last journal for the collection. This collection was dark academia. The theme was dark academia, so you can see that the journal is pretty much it follows pretty much that concept, and it's a beautiful journal. Although I have to say it's not my style. I'm a brighter person. I like bright colors. I like colors actually, and I like, but nonetheless, it's a beautiful journal and it has golden pages, as you can see. That quarter was the first one that I got the package, that I got the subscription. So it was a test for me. I tried a few different things, a few different spreads. So I'm gonna flip a few pages so you can see what I did. So here I have my journal. The kit comes with stationery items that work together. So you get the journal, sometimes you get papers, stickers, you get pens that with the colors matching the journal and the other accessories. This last one came with stickers and papers. So on the first page you already can see I used one of the pages here to start because it was autumn for me. And when I think about fall, when I think about autumn, I think about coziness and I think about indoors. I think about coming back home after summer and staying indoors as much as I can, reading good books, listening to good music. So I wanted to bring that to my journal. And that's why I started with this image of a forest, a dark forest, I would say. And here I did this cutout like a window, but not a window. And inside I put this other paper, which is a library. So it would be more like an external world looking inwards. It was my first time doing this, so it's not perfect. Of course, I was experimenting. One of the best things of having a journal for each quarter is that you know that you are going to get a new one. So that helps you not to be so worried about using the journal, because sometimes you are kind of afraid to do something wrong or to waste pages. And when you know that you are going to receive a new one, you don't have that worry anymore. So that's what I did. I experimented a lot and it made me use the journal a lot. Raise your hand if you, like me, buy a lot of journals and use like a quarter of them and then you don't use it anymore, or you are afraid to use a lot of the journal. It didn't happen this time because I knew I had to use this journal for only 3 months, so I wrote like crazy. And for me that was the best experience. So I have this first page. Here, the first thing that didn't work, I did this track for the fall with 5 things that I wanted to do more and I didn't follow through. But anyways, it was a good idea because it was my first time trying French doors, and here you can see that it was pretty good for a first try, right? But I didn't follow through. And from time to time, I would use it like a journal, of course, and I would write a few quotes that would come to my mind, or when I was writing my book or writing something, if I had a quote that I thought it would represent the day or that moment, I would write it down. Or if I want to affirm something, I use it a lot for affirmations, things that I want them to stick to my brain. I just write them down and I do a pretty spread for that. So you are going to see a lot of those words here. This is a spread that worked as a charm. This was my running log. If you are not new here, you know that I'm training for my first marathon next year. And for this year, my goal was to run a half marathon by the end of the year again, because I did it in my 20s, but I don't do it for a long time now. So I was tracking all the weeks because the idea was to run every week, every Monday. As you can see, I had my back injury here in the middle, so the plans didn't work out as I wanted them to. But anyways, but the spread itself, it was pretty good. So this one I'm gonna repeat for the next journal. Here for gratitude, I like it, but I have to use it more. I have to make it a habit of being grateful every day. So I did a lot of spaces for gratitude. The pages were beautiful, but I should have written more here. As you can see, I made these first 2 pages with small spaces to write down gratitudes, and then I did in different spaces if I need more space or less. And these last 2 pages, I didn't use them. I don't think I reserved a lot of space. I think it was just a matter of not being grateful enough. So I'm gonna pay attention more to that this season, and I'm gonna try to incorporate this habit. I'm gonna try to be more disciplined with this habit. This one is for small wins. It's a little different from gratitude. It was one of those small things that I thought that I could do something, that I could overcome a challenge. So I did this space with small wins so I could write them down. Just a disclaimer, English is not my first language, so probably you're going to see a few misspellings here and there. Please be mindful. It is what it is. Oh, I love it, this one, my workout log. Definitely I'm gonna repeat this one. Although I didn't like this first page, I think it was too childish, but the log itself helped a lot. So here I have the intensity of my workouts each day, and here I have my feeling. How do I feel after my workout? So I could cross info here if it was a recovery day, a low intense, high, medium, and here how I felt, like neutral, good, and amazing. And of course I have my back injury here, so yeah, it didn't go as I planned, but I'm gonna repeat the tracker. What more? This is another tracker that didn't work. It was my macro tracker. Actually, it has to be convenient, it has to be easy to do it. It has to be straightforward, like my running tracker, because this one, it was too much work, and actually I already track my macros on an app, so I would have to go to the app and bring them to plot here on another graph. It was unnecessary. So yeah, this one I'm not gonna repeat. This one I made to log my readings, but I didn't use it first because if you follow my vlogs, you know that I was reading Pachinko, which is a book that took me a long time because of the size of the letters. I couldn't read. Yes, I'm at that age when I have to buy only on Kindle if I want to read something. And because of my back pain, actually, I couldn't sit on my chair, on my reading chair to read. So it was painful, actually. And it took me a long time, and by the end, I decided to make a page specific for the books. Here's the page I made just for Pachinko. And from now on, I'm gonna make a page for each book I read because I think it's better. It's more like a free way to do it. I don't have to follow a prompt. I can just write down as I read, actually, what are the thoughts, what are the interesting ideas I got from the book. So I thought this would be more, not only useful, but more creative. So this is how I'm gonna do on my next journal. And because of my back injury, a lot of things didn't go as planned. My life was not the same these last couple of months because I didn't even go out a lot because of that. So if you are not new here, you know that my husband and I, we love date nights. We try to have a date at least once a week. So every Saturday you are going to see us going out for brunches or for dinners, and I couldn't do it because I couldn't sit. It was painful sitting. So I have this other page here for coffee shops that I wanted to go that I didn't go just because I couldn't sit. And here I did a list of things that I wanted to do in the future, like places, movies, books, because you know, I always see that book or that movie that I want to read or watch, and when the time comes to choose a new reading or a new thing to watch, I never remember them. So I made this list so I could remember, but I didn't use that much, but I'm gonna repeat on my next journal. And here, as I said, we didn't have enough dinner to complete here. Usually we go out once a week, so it would be pretty easy to fill it, and we couldn't. So I am gonna repeat this for the next journal because now I'm good and I can sit properly. I can enjoy my meals, my dinner nights, my date nights with my husband. Here is a tracker of yoga because I had this idea to do at least 15 minutes of yoga every day. It was not only like asanas, it could be studying yoga philosophy. I was doing amazing. I was doing at least 15 minutes a day. I was loving it. But then my back injury came and I couldn't come back to yoga. Actually, the last time I did a yoga class was last October, and we are on December 30th today. Oh yeah. Here's another tracker that I'm gonna continue, although didn't work last season. I started counting the words I would write every day because I was trying to write more, and I started pretty good. But then I took this challenge, NaNoWriMo. If you didn't watch that vlog, it's a good one. I wrote a novel in 24 days. So I had another challenge itself. I didn't need this tracker. I had another one for that. I had this pathway. Each square-ish would be 500 words, and then I have a few milestones, and in 24 days I could get to 50,000 words, and here was where I tracked it. And this is another page that I loved during this season because these are the sprints I did for NaNoWriMo while I was writing my novel. Here I would track all the 15 minutes sprints that I would do every day. So I have here, see until the 24th. And here, because I would set a timer to write, I would just write down my numbers so I could actually count everything by the end of the day. And I have so many post-its on my desk by the end of the challenge that I thought it would be fun to glue some of them here. And what more? I have a few journal entries as well. When I felt like I wanted to write, I would write here and I would make those pages, journal entries. Here another quote so I could remember. This is a quote that came to my mind that I wanted to remember, so I did this page. As you can see, super simple. I would just write down my quote and I would decorate around them. Here, my vision. There was this day I was trying to come up with my vision. Actually, I was trying to organize my thoughts around my vision for my business, and then I did this page. As you can see, I like simple things. I like the words to be the protagonists of my journal. Here, another tracker that I want to keep doing it. I am a very productive person. I consider myself that. I like to batch produce content, for example. I like to do, I'm very fast doing the tasks that I want to do. And sometimes that plays against me because there are some days when I don't have much to do and I think that I'm just not doing enough. So I made this spread so each day I could write down a highlight, something that I did that day, so I could remember. And it was interesting because if I wouldn't write by the end of the day, the next day sometimes I wouldn't remember what I did. So it was very powerful for me to remind me that I actually do a lot of things. So I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna try to write down the things, the important things I do during the day, so I can remind myself that I am actually doing a lot of things. So what more? Oh, here, November, I decided to write highlights of my day. As you can see, I skipped a few days and I couldn't remember. As I said, we have to be diligent about it. We have to remember, we have to force ourselves to remember the things we do, the things that happen to us on a daily basis, because it's so easy to go down to the rabbit hole of, oh my God, I'm not doing enough, or there are not much happening in my life right now, when actually there are a lot of things happening, a lot of good things. And this reminded me, oh, this is another spread that it was actually helpful for me. I call it the wall tracker. Because of what I said, sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough. So every time I would feel like I'm not doing enough, I would go to my website or my Instagram and I would take a look and see if it has this wow fact, like, oh, Luciana is doing something, Luciana is producing content, Luciana is living her life. And if I felt that, I would feel one of the arrows here. So it was very helpful, actually. Try it if you can. Here another entry, other entry, a lot of journal entries, personal ones, so I'm not gonna show you, but each time I wanted to write down something, I would just get my journal and write down. Here, my marathon diaries, I write a quick note about my running that day so I can remember, especially because I am recording videos for this channel. I'm doing the marathon diaries, so I have to remember a few specific things. So yeah, as you can see, it's not pretty, but it's functional. A lot of entries. Oh, this is a good one. This was an entry that actually helped me as a reminder. If you are a content creator, sometimes you feel like you are not producing enough, you are not doing enough, or worse, you feel like you're not useful enough. Like, why am I doing this? What people would gain with me sharing this? So I wrote down this quote: what I am going to share today to inspire people to enhance their lives. Here, a list of things that I could do every day, or at least anytime I would think, oh my God, I'm not sharing enough, or I'm not being useful enough. I have this list of things that would remind me that if I share those things, I would be helping people. Here is the Maisie entry. If you watched that vlog, you know this spread when we went to this corn maze, and it was amazing. Here is a new one that I'm gonna keep doing. Every time I have an idea to write something, it could be a short story, it could be a novel, it could be a blog entry, so I'm gonna track all the ideas I have for writing. Here, another tracker that I have to keep doing it and I have to be more diligent with. It's daily challenges. I started this December. Each day I would write down a challenge to overcome. As you can see, I got lost, but I'm gonna try it again. More entries. Here's an entry in Portuguese that it's in my novel. The novel I wrote that now I have to edit. I was editing and I came with this quote in my novel and I thought it would be interesting to register here. on my journal. Here is an outline that I did for a video. The video when I share with you my experience of writing a novel in 24 days. So here's the outline. It's more like a guide so I can follow and produce the video. Oh, here, if you watched that vlog when I did the ugly planning for a beautiful life, if you watched that vlog, you know this spread. It's ugly, but it brings a beautiful life. I can guarantee you. Oh, here I outlined the process, my process for editing videos, so I can have this on hand each time I need to edit a video. I know the steps I have to follow if I don't remember them, but at some point it becomes like so natural that you don't need it anymore. But if you are trying to edit video or doing something that is a process with a lot of steps, I recommend doing this kind of mind mapping so you can always follow the process until you learn the process by heart. Here, more personal entries. Oh, and here it's in Portuguese, but I can explain you. Sometimes when I see something that I'm proud of, when I do something that makes me proud, I like to write it down to remind myself of that. So this was actually a day that I didn't sleep very well. I was not feeling that great, but I went to the gym anyway, and I did what I had to do, and I felt so great about myself. I felt so proud because I did it, and I know most of people, they don't do that. So when I came back, I was analyzing this, and I just wrote down a few words to remind myself how amazing was what I did, because it's so easy to not, to not give yourself credit, right? And that was it. That was my fall season journal. I am so excited for my winter season journal. I learned a lot with this one. As I said, it was my first one. It was my first subscription box from Arch and Oliver. As I said, the main advantages of having a subscription box is knowing that another journal is on the way. So you feel less, how can I say, it lifts the weight that sometimes we feel about writing on a new journal. It makes us write more because we just want to fill the journal, because we know there is another coming. I really liked the experience, and of course I'm gonna keep doing it. And of course, I'll be showing you my winter journal setup. So if you're not a subscriber yet, now is the perfect time to join. For lunch, I enjoyed my Sunday pizza leftovers. I make pizza from scratch every Sunday, so we can have a healthy homemade version every week. By the end of the day, it was time to make dinner. Tonight's menu featured a protein-loaded casserole. Here's how I made it. I started by preparing the mushroom cream with mushrooms, of course. Salted in garlic, seasoned with salt and ginger, and cooked with milk. I finished it off with a hand blender for a smooth texture. I also peeled and sliced potatoes, salted ground beef with onions, and seasoned with salt, pepper, and chili. To assemble the casserole, start with a layer of potato slices, add a layer of mushroom cream, add a layer of beef, repeat the layers, and finish with mushroom cream on top. Hey Siri, count 15 minutes. And I added micro arugula to bring some greens to the dish. You can find all my recipes, including tips, measurements, and nutritional values on my Patreon. Thank you for spending the day with me. If this vlog brought you value, please give it a like so I can continue creating content like this. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one. I wrote a novel in less than a month. And if you are curious about my process, watch this next video.